don't know. I think he broke my face. I'm serious. Yeah, I think he might have broken my face, but it's all good. It's the playoffs.
Well, I tell you.
Now this clip is kind of surreal because not only does Joel Embiid call it, but he's also sitting there as he thinks he has this broken face giving a post-game interview. I don't know about you guys, but if I thought that my face was broken, I think that I'd be reacting in a different way. I gotta give major props to Joel. I think that this guy is one of the toughest players in the association. If he can play, he's going to play. You really don't have to question anything about his heart. He's one of those players that absolutely leaves it all on the floor and recognizes the moment and also wants to seize that moment. Guys, this video we have a ton to talk about, but first, let's get a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is a unique all-in-one platform for growing your business and online presence. A lot of you guys may not know this, but I used to run a few websites a long time ago. I had to teach myself how to code and all that stuff. It was really a hassle. I wish I had Squarespace because with Squarespace, building an engaging website is as simple as a few clicks. Selling products, content, etc. has never been easier. Squarespace has tons of templates that fill all content types. From galleries to blogs, if you need it, Squarespace has it. Check out this awesome Herb Jones for DPOY website that I was able to build in a matter of minutes, using one of their easy-to-use templates. I know the Pelicans just got eliminated, but the hope that Herb Jones wins DPOY in the future lives on. You're never lost in the sauce with Squarespace. They've got all of the tools and analytics that you need to make sure that you're on the right track. If you act now, you'll be able to take advantage of my special offer for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. All you have to do is use my custom link in the description below. That's squarespace.com/GetLikeCoop. Once again, that's squarespace.com/GetLikeCoop. I want to give a major shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring today's content. The NBA can be a cold business. There's so many times where it's just flat out unforgiving. So much has to go right for a team to even contend, let alone win a championship. How many times have we seen contending rosters, potential championship teams, derailed due to things beyond their control? In the comments below, I want to know what injuries you guys think prevented potential championship teams from winning at the highest level. I'm sure that a lot of people are tired of hearing this, but to answer my own question, I don't even have to go back far. Let's go back to the year 2021, the year that the Nets assembled what I thought would be a team that would cruise to an NBA championship. The Beard, Kai, KD, you can't tell me that this team doesn't win a championship in an alternate reality. Though KD would virtually take the Nets to 7 with sheer will itself, injuries would ultimately play a hand in the demise of what many initially deemed a super team. Towards the end of that Nets-Bucks series, I couldn't help but feel bad for Harden. After seeing Harden carry the Rockets year after year, can you blame me for wanting him to get a ring? With Harden being on his third team in 3 years, and what many have deemed a contender, the pressure to perform is growing, even if he says it's not. In his short tenure with Philly, Harden has been pressured by NBA fans, the coach, and also Joel Embiid. In the first round of the playoffs, Harden averaged 19 points, 10.2 assists, and 5 rebounds. The kicker is that he shot 41.1% from the field. A series like that isn't cutting it without Joel Embiid. While we're here, we have to talk about it. The sequence that led up to Embiid's injury was pretty bonkers. The 76ers were absolutely destroying the Toronto Raptors. Embiid taunts the crowd after a bucket while he's being booed. Next thing you know, Siakam is attacking the basket and Embiid is catching an elbow to the face. In the comments below, I want to know if you guys think that this play was in any way dirty. To be honest with you guys, I'm not entirely sure if the play itself was dirty, but I am very sure that this response from the Raptors commentator was. There's no other way to put it, that's a very poor response. I understand that your back is against the wall, you're on the verge of being eliminated, and maybe you're not happy with some plays that Embiid had earlier in the game. That still doesn't give you a right to respond that way. As for the play being dirty, Embiid and Siakam seem to squash any beef that they may have had after the game, and that's normally what good friends do. I know hindsight is 20/20, but is it fair to question Doc playing Joel Embiid up 29 points in a blowout where there was only about 4 minutes remaining?
The other team had all their guys in too. The last 5 minutes of the game, we made the run the last minute of that game. right before that. That's when we got up 29. After Joel made the shot and did the airplane, if you watch the game, I turned and said, I'm calling a timeout on the next possession. So not upset that he was in. You can make that a big deal if you want, but just go and look at every team and every game and their guys are in until about the 3-minute mark. That's what it is.
That's the last.
You know what? Maybe everybody talking about Doc blowing leads was really getting to him. He did recently address his blown leads at a press conference, and he didn't really seem too happy. I could definitely imagine how annoying addressing something like that would be. To get back to Embiid's injury, according to Ramona Shelburne, Joel Embiid would suffer an orbital fracture. He will be evaluated again next week, but at a minimum, he must be out 5 days with the concussion. There is no timetable for his return yet, but sources say that the door is not closed. Basketball aside, I really do hope that Joel Embiid heals, and I hope that he does well with his recovery, because things like this are really nothing to play with. Now, this wouldn't be Joel Embiid's first orbital fracture. Apparently, he had one in 2018, which required surgery. According to athletic trainer Jeff Stotts, Embiid's 2017-2018 orbital fracture kept him out 22 days. He would miss 8 regular season games and 2 playoff games. You definitely have to feel for Embiid, who's had a terrible run of luck when it comes to the NBA postseason. According to Clutch Points, in 2018, he had that fractured orbital bone that we were just talking about. In 2019, he had a lingering left knee injury. In 2020, Ben Simmons would have knee surgery. In 2021, Embiid would tear his meniscus. 2022, torn ligament in his thumb, which, if you ask me, was a shocker in itself. To see that he has fractured an orbital bone, I really don't have words. Now, though Embiid's injury sucks, it provides Harden with either an opportunity or a nightmare. Both Doc and Embiid have gone on record stating that they want James Harden to be more aggressive. Now, Doc's actually faulted Harden for not passing enough too, so let's focus on Embiid right now. After Harden took 11 shots in a playoff loss April 25th, Embiid said that I've been saying all season since he's got here that he needs to be aggressive and he needs to be himself. Though that's not really my job. That's probably on coach to talk to him and tell him to take more shots, especially if they're going to guard me the way that they've been guarding me. But that's not really my job. We also all need to be better offensively. We missed a bunch of wide open shots. At times, I felt like we just invited when I was getting doubled. We were not aggressive attacking the ball. We just kept moving the ball around the perimeter, and that gave them time to recover. And that's why we were not able to get anything out of it. Embiid is right. If the 76ers want to win when Embiid is playing, everybody has to be a threat, and everybody has to be able to make teams pay for double teaming. I've had this weird theory that one-way defenders are not what they used to be. Guys like Thibault also have to bring some value to the offense if they want to see the floor. Maybe the Tobias Harris that played against the Raptors can help him in that department. I thought that Tobias played a very well-rounded series versus the Raptors. Defensively, offensively, I thought Tobias looked good. Tobias playing up to his potential or his contract going forward would be a major plus for the Philadelphia 76ers, who now need all of the help that they can get. In the comments below, I want to know your expectations for James Harden. When it comes to defenses, I know that James Harden has already seen it all. We're talking about somebody that was so dominant that people actually thought that it might be the move to have a defender trail him as he brings the ball up court. Despite James Harden seeing some ridiculous defenses over time, he called the Raptors series one of the toughest that he's played in. He said that they switched well, they were long, and they throw a lot of different defenses at you. Box and ones, zones, they really want to get you off your game. He gave major credit to Nick Nurse. If Harden felt that way against the Raptors defense, then I wonder how he's going to feel against the Miami Heat. The Heat made Trae Young play some of the worst games that I've seen Trae Young play so close to each other. 1 of 12 from the field, 3 of 11 from the field, 2 of 12 from the field. Now, I did leave out the 6 of 14 and the 10 of 20, but I let you guys know, so don't get too mad at me. I'm just trying to let you guys know that this Miami Heat defense is for real. They were ranked number 4 during the regular season for defensive rating. Trae Young even said that he hadn't been guarded the way that the Heat guarded him since high school. I definitely think that the Hawks' lack of creators played a factor in that. I think it'd be really interesting to see how the Heat would guard Joel. I know that they said that they double, but Bam is a legit DPOY candidate who you could really use to try out some interesting things. I know a lot of people think that he's good, I just don't think that they know how good that he really is. According to ESPN stats and info, nobody's been doubled more times this postseason than Joel Embiid, who's been doubled 85 times. Giannis is second, being doubled 64 times. If you ask me, that's a pretty hefty gap. I mean, come on guys, that's a ton of double teams. That just tells us how unstoppable Joel Embiid is, as if his 30 points per game as a center didn't already tell us that. While I'm talking about players that are unstoppable, if Miami gets the Jimmy Butler that showed up in the first round for the rest of the playoffs, then watch out. Make sure you guys keep an eye out for that Miami injury report. Let me know what you guys think of everything in the comments below. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop. Until our next upload.